Welcome back! We are continuing our study of Shakespeare's The Tempest, and particularly of songs that show up in Shakespeare's Tempest. There are so many great pieces of music in this play, as well as throughout Shakespeare's other plays. We've already looked at most of the songs of Ariel, the fairy, who is very, very musical throughout the entire piece. We've also looked at the freedom song of Caliban. I want to turn now to some of the other pieces of music in this play. And for my next couple of videos, I want to focus on some of the songs of the drunken clowns, Stephano and Trinculo, in this play. At first glance, their songs tend to be a bit more comical, and yet, upon closer inspection, we can examine these songs and find out more about the context and the characters within this play, and even some of the bigger themes. In this video, I'd like to focus on two songs that Stephano sings as he's entering the play for the first time in Act 2, Scene 2. I'm going to clump these two together because the first one is only 2 lines long before Stephano cuts it off. The first song Stephano sings goes, "I shall no more to sea, here shall I die ashore." But he immediately stops singing this song. Now it's helpful to provide a little bit of context to this right here. This is the first time we've seen Stephano, as I already mentioned, but there's been a shipwreck. At least they think there's been a shipwreck, and all of the characters have washed ashore on this island. And the clownish characters, Stephano and Trinculo, who at first are washed up separately, but then later on get together with Caliban, believe that they are alone and lost on this island. And so Stephano has washed ashore with a butt of sack, or basically a keg full of alcohol, and he has been drinking away his troubles. But we see in these first 2 songs, as he thinks he's completely alone, that everyone else is lost or dead, he is feeling the weight of that loneliness. These are both kind of sea shanties, and the first one says, "I shall no more to sea, here shall I die ashore." The idea of, well, I'm giving up the seafaring life. And there's plenty of sea songs or sea shanties about that. However, in this particular case, it immediately strikes Stephano in the wrong way, because he's just lost his boat, he feels all alone, washed up on this island, and so this song is no comfort to him. He says immediately after, "This is a very scurvy tune to sing at a man's funeral." And then he tries to comfort himself by drinking from his bottle a little bit more. He switches songs and begins to sing a second song after this. This one is entitled, "The Master, the Swabber, the Boatswain and I." It goes like this. "The master, the swabber, the boatswain and I, the gunner and his mate, loved Moll, Meg, and Marian, and Marjorie, but none of us cared for Kate, for she had a tongue with a tang, would cry to a sailor, 'Go hang!' She loved not the savour of tar nor of pitch, yet a tailor might scratch her where she did itch. Then to sea, boys, but let her go hang." And yet he still finds no comfort in this second song. He says immediately after he stops singing, "This is a scurvy tune too, but here's my comfort," and again drinks from his bottle. This song is fairly easy to understand, but I'm going to unpack it line by line anyway. The first line of the song lists several different occupations within the category of sailing. The master, the swabber, the boatswain, the gunner, and his mate. So all of these are different positions on the ship. And so this is the sailor singing about all the different types of sailors, all the different positions on the ship. And they're all coming to shore for leave, and of course, because they've been on a boat for a long time, they want to party and have a good time, as sort of idiomatically goes with the sailor image. And so they look for a girl to have a good time with. And he lists Moll, Meg, Marian, and Marjorie, all of these women who don't mind hanging out with the sailors when they come to shore and showing them a good time, but nobody likes Kate. And so this entire song is kind of a comical love song, or a frustrated love song. All these sailors are trying to hook up with these women, but Kate rejects every single one of them. But notice how the negative starts with the sailors saying they don't like Kate. None of us cared for Kate. But we come to uncover the reason they don't care for Kate is because they've all been rejected by her, not because Kate herself has been dismissed by them. Fun, tiny twist to that. Sometimes I feel better about a situation if I pretend like I was the one who made the decision there, when actually it was made for me. And he goes on, he says, the reason we didn't like Kate, she had a tongue with a tang. She's sharp-tongued. The things that she says to us, you know, they hurt. She would cry to a sailor, go hang. So she's cursing the sailors, telling them to just get lost, buddy. Go hang is a curse to tell someone, you know, go ahead and go be executed by hanging. And the reason why you'd be executed by hanging is for different various crimes. So, you know, it's sort of like saying, go jump off a bridge, or go play in traffic, or something like that. Being like, I do not care about you, or your existence. Kate obviously doesn't like them. And then she says, she loved not the savor of tar nor of pitch. And tar and pitch are basically, you know, the same thing. Why does this line come in here? Well, she doesn't like the savor, so the smell or the you know, the taste of tar and pitch. Well, who's covered with tar and pitch? It would be the sailors, because they'd use the tar and pitch to seal the boat, and so they smelled like that, and she couldn't stand the smell of them. And tar is even used in a metonymic way to describe sailors sometimes. People may be familiar with the song The British Tar from the HMS Pinafore. Calling a sailor a tar is a metonymy, something that they're closely associated with. Because they're always hanging around with tar, they smell like it. And yet, Kate wasn't a complete prude, because a tailor might scratch her where she did itch. In other words, she could find satisfaction and pleasure in hanging out with a tailor, just not any of us sailors. And so the song ends by saying, then to sea, boys, and let her go hang. So we'll just leave her and go on off to the sea, and she can go hang. But it's funny because that's what she said to them first. And so it's like when somebody insults you and you don't have a really good comeback. This song is comical because they've all been rejected by Kate, and they want to be able to sort of, you know, be like, well, I don't care. But it's obvious that the rejection is entirely on her side, and they are kind of helpless to respond to it. It's a funny sea shanty kind of song, a song about sailors trying to find love and being rejected. But this song brings him no comfort either, because after all, he feels very alone. He has no choice but to stay here on this island. He cannot go back to sea. He has no mates anymore, he thinks, although he's about to find Trinculo in just a moment. And he's in rather a bad state. Now, there is one interesting detail about this song that I discovered by reading Ross W. Duffin. He talks about how the arrangement of this song actually mirrors the arrangement of Full Fathom 5 by Ariel, which is this beautiful and enchanting song by Ariel. It's magical, it's full of the kind of feeling that gets under your skin. And it's a song about the funeral of the king, who has presumably been drowned and sunk to the bottom of the ocean. Ferdinand hears this song and believes his father is dead. So Duffin points out that in some ways this song almost feels as though it is a parody of that previous song. The very serious and formal sound of Full Fathom 5, and now this more comical kind of arrangement, but perhaps with the same musical pattern. It is interesting that Stefano mentions this is a very scurvy tune to sing at a man's funeral, which, again, may go with the fact that it mirrors the funeral song. On the other hand, Stefano himself feels like perhaps this is his funeral. There's no one left but him. He's all alone, and he's probably going to die here all alone. He feels in this moment. Thanks for watching. You can click to subscribe, or you can visit my Patreon, where I've got other resources available to help you study Shakespeare and other works of literature. And I don't know about you, but talking about this song got me in the mood to sing some sea shanties. What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? Hey-ho, and up she rises, and hey-ho, and up she rises, hey-ho, and up she rises early in the morning. There once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of the ship was the Billy O.T. The winds blew hard, her bow dipped down, blow me bully boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She had not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that girl in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Before the boat hit the water, whale's tail came up and caught all hands to the side, harpoon and bought her when she dived down below. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.